I think deep down, most of us at least wish we could be a millionaire, or at least wish we could have financial freedom, because it gives us the ability to do what we want in life. And so I was about 20 years old and I wasn't getting any progress financially. My wife was in credit card debt just for everyday types of things. And I knew something had to change. And then I did these 5 millionaire habits. And by 28 years old, I was financially free. I was financially independent. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you 5 millionaire habits that changed my life, and they can change yours as well and start to help your bank account grow and grow and grow. So make sure you hit the like button on this video right over there, and let's dive right into this video. Okay, the first skill is developing multiple sources of income. Comment down below multiple sources of income. Comment that down below. I ask you to comment down below because to say like you forget 90% of everything you hear. I want to make sure this isn't another financial channel where you hear it and then you don't apply anything that it says. So please do me a huge favor, comment down below multiple sources of income. So yes, this is a skill. Some people will be like, skills, habits, what do you mean? That's not one. Yeah, it is, because it's a common thread between people that are financially independent. Look at the wealthiest people in the world. They almost always have multiple sources of income. And the reason that this is important is a lot of reasons. So first and foremost, even if you don't want to be a millionaire, you need to develop multiple sources of income. You need at least one additional source of income. The reason is our currency is getting killed globally. The Fed is printing so much money that it's killing the purchasing power of money. And I like gold, so I collect gold coins. And on the gold coins, it says that 1 ounce is 50 United States dollars. It used one ounce of gold used to be $50. Now it's about $1,600 as of now. They're killing the currency. That's why houses are so expensive. That's why rent is so expensive, because they're making money so cheap. They're going to negative interest rates. You already see Trump battling the Fed over it. He wants it to go negative. It's gonna totally kill the currency. And the other problem with that is China is one of the biggest buyers of United States debt. And if we go negative at a certain point, negative interest rates, they're gonna stop buying it. If they stop buying our debt, or if all these foreign investments stop going into the United States treasuries because the yield gets so small because of negative interest rates, it could kill the global economy for a while. In addition to all of that, you just can't depend, especially we have an economy that's bouncing on a razor's edge. So the problem with that is you can't just rely on your one job to hopefully be there for the next 10 years. It's just not smart. And it's also, multiple sources of income can help you get more peace and more sleep at night, because you know you're not dependent on one thing. So between all the problems in the economy, top that off with, let's say you have a good job, and in America, a good job is $60,000 a year. At least I define it as that, because that's what they say the average person makes. So $60,000 a year. The trouble with that is that income is stagnant, and with the inflation, with the increase of the huge asset bubble we're in because of such cheap money from the Fed, it causes a problem where your purchasing power is going down every year. They say, oh yeah, inflation hasn't gone out of control. The dollar's worth so much less, so they're doing it. It's the secret tax. It's the hidden tax. They're killing the currency. And if you keep relying on one income source, it's basically like you trying to drive a two-wheel car out of deep mud. You're just not going to get anywhere. And so what I encourage you to do, and what I did that changed my life, is I wrote on a piece of paper multiple sources of income. And I started coming up with a bunch of income earning ideas. This is not something that you're taught in school, so it might feel a little bit uncomfortable. That's fine. It may take a minute to even think of them. That's fine. Just come up with ideas. I remember my wife and I did this when we were about 21. And we made a list of about 15 things, and like 14 of them sucked. Like we had things like sell granola. My wife makes good granola, and we just came up with anything we could possibly think of. And a couple of them stuck, but more importantly, it started to make us think differently. And that's the first step. And when that started to happen, now in present time, I have, I don't know, like 7, 8 sources of income now. And I'm not relying on one specific avenue. This is important for a lot of reasons. One, it just gives you peace of mind. You're not dependent on one source. And number two, it's a multiplier. The rich do not work for money. So if you can develop income sources, we're not talking about another job. We're talking about other income sources that aren't directly correlated to you trading your time for money. And the benefit of this is it has a multiplier. So it can allow your income to go from $1,500 a month to $4,000. You can hire other people if it's a side business. You also get the tax benefits if you have a multiple source of income, because you can incorporate it and put it as a business. You're at a lower tax rate. All of these things allow you to keep more of your money and have a multiplier that will allow you to earn more of it. So sit down by yourself, or sit down with your best friend, or sit down with your boyfriend or girlfriend or your husband or wife, and start to come up with other income source ideas. I bet you already have a skill, you already have an idea, or there's something you can plug into someone else's skill or idea that you can help bring to the marketplace. Start somewhere small, start somewhere simple. It might be something as simple as starting a yard service business, and instead of you doing every single one of the yard work, you employ someone else and you keep 50% of the profits. These are just little things. That's a very small example of what you're doing. Is you're starting to think different, and you're starting to create space for money to multiply in your life through additional sources. So the second millionaire habit is that you're applying leverage and scalability. So supposedly, John D. Rockefeller said that the number one thing that people need to do if they want to get rich is utilize leverage. So when you're directly trading your time for money, there's no leverage in it, right? If your back hurts and you can't go to work, you don't get paid. And so leverage is either utilizing softwares, or it's utilizing other people that you employ. It's setting up your income sources where it's not always directly related to you trading your time for money. So in real estate, as an agent, right, you're directly, in essence, trading your time for money with the projects. Okay, but if you move to a brokerage and you have other people working for you, or you're getting cuts on other people, all of a sudden you're starting to implement more leverage. You're a massage therapist at $60 an hour. Okay, well, can I start to utilize Google or Facebook marketing, or build a YouTube channel, or build a brand that will allow me to get more clients? And instead of me doing all of it, can I hire another masseuse that I take 50 or 60% off the top? All of a sudden, you're employing leverage into the same business, but you're approaching your value to the marketplace in a more leveraged way. You can actually employ leverage for almost everything you're already doing. You can also look at your current sources of income and ask, how can I employ more leverage to them already? So it might be that you can move to a little bit of a performance-based system, or you might be able to be involved in some of the profits of something. How can you switch up your present ways you're getting paid to add more leverage to them? And then in addition, when you're thinking about starting a business, when you're thinking about starting an idea, how can you put that business system together where it is not just another job? Because a lot of times people move to the self-employed department, but all they're really doing is the same thing, right? So like I gave a very specific example of a massage therapist. You could say, well, I'm in, Jake, I'm gonna do it. So you quit your job and you become a massage therapist. But at $50 an hour for massage therapy, you're still in the exact same boat that you were in before. There's no leverage with it. Then remember, if you can learn a high income skill such as Facebook advertising, Google advertising, build a YouTube channel, or just get better at local marketing, and you can acquire more prospects or more potential clients, all of a sudden you can train someone else. You could charge another therapist $1,500, and you're going to train them in this certain style that makes your massage work so great, and you're going to give them clients. all of a sudden they're out working on your behalf, you're getting paid, and you got some upfront money. This is just a simple example of how to add more leverage. The third skill that changed my life is saving 50% of my money. So Sir John Templeton, who's a famous investor, he once saved 50% of his money. I'm sure it became much higher than that, but when he was starting his career and he didn't have any money, he was saving 50% of it so that he could invest. And that skill changed my life. I started it when I was only making like $1,000, $2,000 a month, but I started saving 50% of it. It didn't change my life at the time because it was only a few hundred extra dollars that I was able to save. But what it did is it helped me develop the habit. So once my additional sources of income and my leverage started to kick in and my income started to go like this, it started to really shoot up, hockey stick style growth, I already had developed the habit. So I could still save 50% of my money and even add it to that. And all of a sudden I had a wealth multiplier. I started going from saving $200 a month to $400 to $800 to $3,000 to $10,000, all the way up to saving six figures in a year, because I already built the habit of 50% of my money, and then I worked on the previous steps that we illustrate. So what happens for most people is they say, I'll save once I have more money. It's easy for you to say, Jake, yeah, if I was in that income boat, I would do it too. You're always going to be broke. You're always going to be paycheck to paycheck if you're using the lack of money as an excuse to develop certain habits. A habit means you do it because it's ingrained in you, not because you have a certain outside result, not because you've rearranged the circumstances of your life to change. No, you change. And when you change, your income changes. When you change, your financial life changes, but you have to change first. And so instead of going, I'll do it once I have more money, do it now, and then it's going to bring you more money. Because if you're saving 50%, you've started to see yourself as someone who can acquire wealth. And then when you institute the earlier steps about growing your income, you're going to be able to more easily keep more of your money. This is a habit a lot of people do not build, but they acquire the high income habit. And then what happens is all they are is a high income broke person. They're making $500,000 a year, but they're still in the same cycle of not having any money, living paycheck to paycheck, or even using credit to fund their lifestyle, even though they have a high income, because they never developed the habit of being someone that could acquire money. So start saving 50% of your income or work your way up towards it. I promise it'll change your life. Millionaire habit number 4 that changed my life is that I developed singular focus. A lot of times people start and stop a million different ideas, and I was 19 years old when I dropped out of college, and I decided that I wanted to start traveling around the world, writing books, putting this out in the world. And I never stopped. I met a lot of colleagues or a lot of peers that started around the same time as me. Maybe they wrote their first book. You see a lot of people writing books now of all different genres because it's a lot easier to enter the market because of self-publishing. But 95% of books never sell 2,500 copies. So basically you're well below like the poverty line for most authors in terms of how much money's coming in. Like if they're lucky, a couple $1,000s a year. Now, I didn't make money quickly at it, but I did it for 10 years, the same things over and over and over. I got to my second book, then I sold 10,000 copies out of the trunk of my car. It took me a few years to get there, but once I sold 10,000 copies out of my self-published book from the trunk of my car, that's a lot of books. So then that got me a book contract with Penguin Random House, the #1 publishing company in the world. Then once I had that, I got another book contract. Eventually, after years of compounding effect, what happened was my books were out enough where I was starting to get consulting gigs, I was starting to get some speaking gigs, and it just kept building and it just kept building and it just kept building over a period of time. I never stopped. And recently I was just at a little smoothie shop down in town in Maui, and I saw a guy started about the same time as me, and he was saying that he's having difficulty having stable income. And he said, one thing that I really admire about you is you never stopped. And a lot of times this is what people do. They don't get the progress they want at their income or at their job or their dream or their business, so they jump to the next one. Oh, I have a better idea. Oh, I have a better idea. Oh, I have a better idea. It's not about ideas. It's about implementation of those ideas to the marketplace serving people, building a profitable business. It's about focusing on those things, getting better at the thing that earns you money. That's how you're going to do it, not by just coming up with the next idea and the next idea. And when it doesn't work in 6 months, you just go, I guess it's not meant to be, and you go on to the next one. I think this is summed up very nicely by a Bill Gates quote. He said, most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade. Most people, they shoot for the moon in their first year and then they don't do it, and then they think they aren't smart enough, or it's not meant to be, or they don't have the right resources, or they don't have enough money, or the market's too saturated. That's not the problem. You're overestimating what you can do in a year, and you're underestimating what you can do in 10 years. So Bill Gates said it best. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, and they underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade. Stay focused, stay focused, stay focused, stay focused. Number 5, the last habit, millionaire habit that really changed my life, is I went into business for myself. This is a common thread between millionaires. In fact, 8 out of 10 working millionaires are self-employed. There's a lot of reasons for this. First and foremost is when you are in business and you are in that sphere of the tax circle, you pay a lower tax rate. So you're going to keep more of your money. First of all, you're going to be able to legally keep more of it, utilize the tax law and things like that. So first of all, it's that. Second of all, it gives you the opportunity to be involved in the profits, and it gives you an opportunity to be involved in those leverage systems and really reap the benefits of those leveraged income systems. So there is a very specific reason 8 out of 10 working millionaires are self-employed. So the reality is we can never count on a job forever. It doesn't mean you need to quit your job, but it might be, what is an idea that I can start to implement as a side business just to have an additional income just in case. You want leverage, you want scalability, and you want the opportunity for exponential growth in your income. You're only going to get that from being self-employed or a business owner, or just being involved on the ground floor of somebody else's idea, right? You don't need to be the idea person or the business owner. You could be involved in the commissions, you could be involved in as a profit share, you could be involved in stock options. You don't need to have the idea, but you need to be tied to something that allows real leverage. Because if you're tied to something that allows real leverage, when it does take off, you're going to be rewarded 10x what you were before. This is why people like Steve Jobs accept a $1 salary and everything they're paid is in back-end stock options, because they're tied almost exclusively to the performance. And they know that if they can make the performance of the company do well, they're going to get a 100x multiplier on their net worth. And they're going to pay a lower tax rate than they would at earned income as well. So this is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com. Ask yourself, how can I implement these 5 millionaire habits into my life? I truly believe this is the best time in human history to be alive, whereas at the same time, it's also one of the most scary and dangerous, specifically financially, because if you're not prepared for the future, you're going to be left behind. There's so much happening with automation. There's so much happening with robots. People are going to lose jobs left and right. They're debasing the currency. They're killing the economy. Use this as motivation to start to screw your financial head on right. Get rid of the idea that you aren't smart enough to become financially freedom. Get rid of the idea that you need money to make money. It's never been easier to bring value to the marketplace. This is the time for you to really make the progress that you've always dreamed of making. I'm telling you, you're good enough, you're smart enough, you'll figure it out. It's never been easier, but you've got to screw your head on and focus on this one thing. So make sure you hit the like button right over there to send this video out into the YouTube universe. If you dig this, make sure you hit the good old like button to send this out into the YouTube universe right over there. And then if you haven't yet, right there down below is my free income increasing hypnosis. So a lot of times people have all the ideas, they have all the business models, they have all the things, blah, 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 blah. but their mind is screwed on backwards. Like they have such a negative relationship with money or their own self-image or their own thought patterns that they're just blocking opportunities left and right. So one of the things I did is I started actually hypnotizing myself to make more money. I started just brainwashing myself that I had increased my income. Even though it hadn't happened in the outer world, I brainwashed myself for it. It's right there down below. It's a free income increasing hypnosis right there down below. It's totally free. Over 700,000 people from my other channel downloaded my financial hypnosis, and it's right there down below. It's free. It's an income increasing hypnosis right there down below. You will see it pinned to the comments. And if you're still here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification right over there. The bell notification is what notifies you for new videos. So even if you're already subscribed, just double check. Have you actually hit the bell notification right over there on the side? Thank you for watching this video. Have an absolutely fantastic day. You're smarter than you think. You're more capable than you think. And I believe you can change your entire financial life. If you focus, great things are headed your way.